We are right now seeing a mental health crisis among young people, and we really need to take action and think what are the root causes for these problems. Before I founded a company called Markt, Finnish education company specialized in social emotional learning. I used to work as an educator and a psychiatric youth counselor. It all comes to the point where I worked as a teacher in middle school, the need for social emotional skills. And then we can have the tools to really use all that we have as humans. When we say that the future is within the hands of our youngsters, we really need to focus on the well-being of the young generation. I would call myself as a social entrepreneur. It all comes to the point where I worked as a teacher in middle school, and I really get to see the different challenges that we talk about globally right now. Mental health challenges, depression, anxiety, the need for social emotional skills. And what I started to do, I started to teach my students about these skills. And I got really surprised when I saw the results that we had after that. I called it a journey within, and we learned about how our self-image is, how it develops, why we have emotions, or how our mind really works. And all these things we together discovered with my students. And I always tell the story when one of my students came to me and told me that, now I realize that there is nothing wrong with me. I just haven't understood myself. And I thought that, wow, that's really true. Maybe many of us think sometimes, is there something wrong with me? Why am I feeling like this? And on that day, I realized that we need to teach more about these skills at the school, because all we need, no matter the culture or the country or anything like this, we all need these skills. And on that point, I started our company. So it all comes to there.
It's so important, right? Understanding yourself, but it's so difficult, especially when it comes to the very beginning of your life. I mean, I don't think anybody in this world fully understood who we are or who they are. It's so complicated. But you're right. I mean, if you start working on it when you're very early in your life journey, it's a different story, right? You start
Yeah.
try to understand who you are, working on yourself. It's very much missed everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
On the adults, because we are too busy, we don't spend 1 second understanding who we are. And when you're young, you don't think
That's
about this unless someone will push you. And
that's
but
so.
and also, I don't believe nobody's wrong or right. We are different.
And it's amazing to see that when we get the we understand our emotions, we understand how our mind truly operates, it gives us the clarity and at the same time the understanding for others, the empathy. And then we can have the tools to really use all that we have as a humans. And we can forget the question, is there something wrong with me? No, maybe you just really don't understand why you
Correct.
have certain emotions and how to regulate them. And that I saw with my students. I saw how the joy came in, self-confidence, and how the relationships, how they started to communicate with each other. It was so beautiful. And I always say that when we say that the future is within the hands of our youngsters, that would never be like necessary thing for us. We really need to focus on the well-being of the young generation if we want to success.
They are the future, right? We will go, they will go one day as well. But meanwhile, they must have a lot to do. But you're right. I mean, if you want to have empathy, you must understand who you are. And
Yeah.
otherwise, it's going to be very, very complicated. But I mean, from this to start a company, there is a huge difference because when you decide to do something in a business way, you are going to endorse a lot of problems, a lot of challenging and so on and so forth. Uh, what was the motivation behind? Because you're already teaching, creating a startup.
Yeah. Yes. The motivation was that I wanted to be able uh, to have impact and to share what we had created for many others. Because me as a person, I cannot impact that many classrooms.
Yeah.
But when I have a product that we can give it to the teachers, then we can impact more students. And that was the motivation because I got to see that, hey, there is some amazing changes happening right now. And these skills we need. And I wanted to be able to do it in a way that it doesn't add any extra load for the teachers, but it would be an easy tool for the teachers as well. And that was really important for me because I know that in the school world, we have already so much going on. So I wanted to be able to give the tool that doesn't require much. So that was the motivation. And also, of course, we are right now seeing a mental health crisis among young people. And we really need to take action and think like what are the root causes for these problems. And by research, we know that teaching social emotional skills, we can do a lot. So that was the motivation, really.
From the motivation to the feeling, how do you feel? I mean, when there is not a day when you decide, okay, from tomorrow, 5 o'clock in the morning, or we start being entrepreneur. This is not going to happen this way. But when you really realized, okay, I want to take this road,
Mhm.
which is going to be very different from being a teacher. And how do you feel? Excited? Scared? Mix up?
Yeah, I think it happened quite naturally because I was developing the product all the time when I was working as a teacher. So then the change to become an entrepreneur happened quite naturally. But of course, the challenges came in right away because I personally, I'm a developer. I want to innovate. I want to develop things forward. I have always ideas and I would like to go in many different directions. But now I realize that as an entrepreneur, I need to be able to focus. What do I want to do?
Yeah.
And where to focus. And of course, all this, you need to be able to sell your product. You need the finances to have the team that can work with you towards the mission that you have. So those were, to be honest, those were challenges for me, and that I needed to learn. And maybe 1.5 years I was working as a teacher, and at the same time I developed a company. But after that, I raised the needed amount of money to create a team, and after that, we have been going forward. And for me, as a entrepreneur, it helped a lot because we got selected to Helsinki Education Hub that helps educators to become entrepreneurs and to create new innovative solutions. So that gave me a lot of different skills uh, for selling and marketing and things like that I didn't knew anything about.
But in doing this, where do you find the most difficult part? Marketing, sales, operation, accounting, finance? Where do you find the very challenging one?
Yeah, I think it was the sales because, like I said, I always like to develop. And after when we had the team or created the team and be able to, partner with different partners, I realized also that it's another job to lead the team. It asks quite a lot of time to lead the people then. So that was also something that I needed to learn. Uh, and the focus was also one thing. Uh, to have the clarity, okay, what we are doing and why we are doing it, and what we need to do to success where we want to go.
Leading a team is the most challenging part you can have, for sure. You need to
Yes.
lead by example. You need to lead in a very different way. How you live your life when you teach. You can be a great teacher. Doesn't mean you're going to be a good entrepreneur or great. You
Yeah.
must adopt different way, and if you don't have learning different skills, by far leading is the most beautiful. Leading and understanding how to give the power to the others when time will arrive, because you can't do
Right.
everything. There's nothing to do. So delegating others, it will be crucial for you as soon as you
Yeah.
move bigger and bigger. Many people,
Mm-hmm.
they try to have everything under their control, but sure, you can't. There's no way you can do this. It's impossible. Well,
Mm-hmm.
be a founder from being a teacher did improve your life. Do you find yourself in a better position, or you find yourself misplaced? How do you find yourself? Better or worse than before?
I've been enjoying every day because it gives the freedom. It gives the freedom uh, to do and to have the impact. It gives the possibility to meet amazing people every day on online. Get to know different schools, partners. I've been so honored to work with amazing professionals, and I've been really enjoying every day, even though as an entrepreneur, we will always have some challenges. But I think for me, it's also that I feel so much meaning in what we are doing as a team. So even though we face those challenges, I believe that we will always find the solutions if we decide so. So that's being something that, you know, it keeps me going no matter what challenges we face.
The challenges are there to be overtaken. And that's the beauty, right? And every day you have a different challenge, and every day you need to do something better than you did yesterday. And this is very much the beauty of to be an entrepreneur. The learning
Right.
curve is so fast.
Yes. And, always at the end of the day, when we, look back to the challenges that we've gone through, we have learned so much. So we have learned skills that we need for the
Yeah.
future. And so I think when we face challenges, it's actually crucial as an entrepreneur because then you learn and then you can be a better company leader or founder after those challenges. So and
This
it
is
for
so
me it has
true, yeah?
yeah and it has been important to realize that it's nothing personal, but to allow yourself that, hey, what can I learn from this situation? So I want to take them, use it as a growth mindset. That do you think that you can learn from the challenges or even from failures, right? Mm.
Of course. This is why we need to fail sometimes so you can
Right.
learn. Otherwise, it's going to be flat. What's
Yes.
your, do you have any routine? There are many founders actually. They try to keep themselves in some kind of routine, daily routine. So you keep going, you keep yourself on balance.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
Yes, I have. And as an entrepreneur, one of the things for me has been that I really don't have like work times. Sometimes it feels that I'm working all the time. You are ready to answer the phone, you are ready to answer the emails, and you cannot stop the thinking going, you know? So, when you are working somewhere or somebody else, when you close the uh, door, I hope that you can, clear everything from your mind. But as an entrepreneur, I think we cannot do that in the same way,
Won't be
or
possible.
at least I can't. And so that has been sometimes, a challenge. And that's why we need to be able to take care of ourselves. For example, me, it's really important that every week I have at least one day off. Because if I don't have that, I lose creativity. And I need that creativity
Yeah.
in my work. But I have daily routines. When I wake up in the morning, I like to drink my coffee alone and to have a little time for thinking the day ahead and, watching my calendar, what is coming, and to put some goals that what are the most important tasks to get done today. So that's what I'm also always focusing on every day, every morning. And when I have chosen those maybe five goals that I need to achieve today, then I start my day. I have meetings, and then between the meetings, I'm working on some administrative job, and you know, uh, I actually haven't been thinking about like how does my normal work day look like, but it's meeting and then the basic things that entrepreneurs do. Well, we do. We answer emails and we develop where we are going.
In all you do, what do you like the most? You like developing. What else?
Um, I like to create the partnerships with our customers. I really like that because I think that we can have great products, but if we don't really focus on what kind of relationships we are building, it doesn't matter what kind of good
Yeah.
product you have. So I really think it's important to see your customers as the partners that you work with, and that I enjoy. Uh, yeah.
Know your customer, working with them, it's almost everything, right? If you don't
Yes.
know the person you would like to sell to, there's no way you can go anywhere. So that's an
Right.
extremely important part of the business. If you like, you're double lucky, right? You're doing something very good for your company and very good for you because you actually enjoy what you're doing. Have you ever thought in all this period, be an entrepreneur, I'm not qualified enough. I won't do this. Why haven't done
Mhm.
this? Maybe it was better if I stay in teaching and that's it.
Oh yes, I have. And I think it's I've been needing to use the skills that I teach for the students, the skills to understand the emotions, the skills to understand how our minds operates. And for us as a humans, it's really natural that when we are doing something new, we are scared. We think that we are not qualified for this. Our brain is saying to us, do not go there. You don't know what's coming. It's something new. So I think all of us will have those moments, and it's really natural for us. So yes, I've been many times talking to myself in those situations. And at the same time, it's really important. If you are tired, you're more likely to have those thoughts. I'm not qualified for this. I
Yep.
cannot do this. So that's also why it's really important to, uh, that you take care of yourselves and your well-being. But yes, I have had those thoughts, and if I think about, it's usually in the time when I've been working too much, especially 10. When you have so many things going on at the same time, then I feel like it would be so much easier to work for somebody else to go back to the classroom and teach the 25 students
That's
five
correct.
times a week. So yes,
It is.
definitely.
I mean, I believe when you are overwhelmed, but at the same time, when you had things going on the wrong direction. Normally, when you have bad thoughts, is when things are not doing very well, and you say, okay, well, why I'm doing this? Maybe I. And for example, I remember my first startup. My friend were going holiday. There is no way I can go with them because I need to use my money for the company. So you need to deprive yourself. That's what it is. From many things that makes your life more, in some kind, more enjoyable. Entrepreneurs are the one who actually lives the present working for the great day coming, right? Now, not everyone will come. And this is why I say to all entrepreneurs, you must enjoy the journey, very much the journey, because you don't know what's going to be the end. As if you live an entire journey for the end, maybe you're living for nothing because the end will never arrive. So enjoy what you do today. Also because we're entrepreneurs, we do much enjoy what we do.
That's so true. And how important it would be that we would celebrate more often what we have done, because I think that we are always going somewhere. I think that's what we do, that we
Yeah.
want to develop, we want to success more, we want to go forward, we want to have bigger impacts. But it's so important that we sometimes go and look back and like what we have really achieved.
Yeah.
And it's easy to say that, but to do so, I think that would be really important
Put
for to do.
put words in practice is not easy. It's very easy to talk, but it's very complicated to deliver when it comes to turn words in action. Uh, let's go back to failure. Learning from failure. Failure has something that very much scares many. Are you scared to fail?
To fail, I think I would be more scared if I wouldn't try at all. Uh, and I think that I have learned to use self compassion uh, towards failure, because I think that through failure we can really learn. Of course, I would be disappointed if we would fail in a way that what we have created wouldn't succeed and go forward, and everything would go down. Of course, I would be disappointed and sad. But to be scared about it, I think I'm not scared about it. But like I said, I'm more scared about not trying. Yeah.
I have to be honest. Since I started my first one, failure is something that I never cared at all. So, always said to me, if I fail, I will start again. What is important, don't fail too big, because when it's too big, it's when we losing too much money, creating problems and so on and so forth. Maybe it's very damaging. It will take a while. Of course, you can start. It will take a while, a bit longer. But failing cannot be the problem of an entrepreneur at all. I do believe, I mean, honestly, I never think about failure at all. And not because I'm sure I won't fail, because for me, it does help me at all. I say. It's like worrying, right? It's easy to say, what's the point to be worried? It does not help. That's true. But anyway, we are humans and we worry. There's nothing to do. Failure for me is the same. What's the point
Yeah.
to stay there? Actually, the more I think about failure, probably it will come one day. So work away. I mean, I don't like failure. Thinking about failure, because nobody likes failing. I'm completely, how can I say, uh, I try to clean myself totally from this. Just what's the point, right? Just do it. Try to do as
Yeah.
best as you can. But that's the only thing you can do.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Right. And I haven't heard not that many successful stories without including failures also,
Oh yeah.
you know.
What about motivation and resilience? To
Mhm.
be a founder, you need to be very motivated and very resilient. How do you
Yeah,
need motivation, resilience, keep yourself always on the top?
that's a really good question. And the motivation for me is really to hear the success stories that are happening inside the classrooms and in the schools that we work with. That's the motivation for me. And also, I think it's really important that we have the bigger vision in our minds. Where do we want to go? Where we want to be going? Uh, Not even 1 year goal, but after 15 years, where we want to be, what we have achieved. And I think it's important to be able to dream, because when we are able to dream, we allow ourselves to think big enough. So, and that motivates me. It doesn't give me the feeling, oh, those are this is not optimistic. We cannot go there, or we cannot vision something like this. But for me, it's a motivational thing that I have the bigger vision. And of course, the most important is that, like I mentioned earlier, it really gives me the feeling of meaning and purpose on what we are doing, because we know that not one company will change the mental health issues among young people, but that's why we need all of us to work uh, for the well-being
Yes,
of youngsters. Mm.
it does. I mean, we need to keep motivating ourselves. There is nothing to, nobody will motivate you. Actually, the funny thing when you're an entrepreneur is that everyone will push you down. There is nothing to do. You talk to friends, which is not going to work. You talk to first friend and family for some money to start. If you don't have any, they will let you know, okay, maybe I give you 2,000 or 5,000, but just because of you, not because I believe in what you're doing. And after you move to the angel, you will get millions or no before one coming, understanding you, and maybe give you some money. And you go to the customers, they will take you down every day, let you down. And I mean, it's only about no, and rarely comes any yes. So if you are not focused and you're not 100% motivated and also extremely big-minded,
Yeah.
because that's what it is. You are not
Yeah.
extremely big-minded. They're very sure that you're going to succeed. Doesn't mean you're going to succeed. But you need to be 100% sure yourself. You need to go to succeed. The only way you can
Right.
go is this way. Otherwise, don't rely on others, because entrepreneurs, they work alone. Period. Period.
So
There is
true.
nothing to do.
Oh, yes, right. And I think it's important that we have clarified for ourselves that what is our why, like Simon Sinek always says, what is the why behind on what you are doing? And I think when you have the why, you are more resilient, because you have some reason, some purpose why you are doing it, why you want to be resilient and motivated. So if you don't have that, if you're, well, I could be doing something else, there comes couple times failures, I guess you are not continuing. But you need to have the vision why you are doing what you are doing. And also it came to my mind that at the start of my entrepreneurial path, I realized that it's really important to think about who you take advice from. Because if all
Yeah.
the decisions that you are making, if you are always asking advice from others, and usually from people that haven't done anything like what you are doing or are not entrepreneurs, they can only advise you in a level that how they think, where are their beliefs. And that I learned that sometimes you need to take risks and start to believe that you can make the decisions. And it's important that you find people who have already done something.
That's correct.
Eh, Yeah, because they are willing to help you, because they are already there.
That's totally true. I mean, at the very beginning, when you start, you have a little experience having devices. Not right or wrong. Again, you don't know if your advisors are the best one. Even if they are great entrepreneur, doesn't mean they are right to give you advices. But at least there's someone that can tell you that things for them didn't work.
Yeah.
And advices come from what you learn from your experience, and maybe we are not going to repeat the same mistake we've done before. What's the point to do twice the same mistake? That's the kind of advice that founders really need. Not
Oh
tell
yeah.
them what they should do, because if you run your company, you run your company.
Yeah.
Advisors or mentors more than advisors, startups, they don't need advisors, they actually need mentors.
That's so great.
And mentors, they're the one who tell you, you know what, what's the point? Never work this. It's not going to work for you. And I've done already 10 times with others. What I've done with myself. Why are you repeating the same mistake? You can avoid this. Would
Yeah.
be a silly mistake if someone is telling you already that never worked before. Now, if you believe it can work for you, do it, because sometimes you need to face reality, right? By your own. But
Yes.
what's the point, right? At the end of the day, you spend time, spend money run out, and after you need to shut down the company. What do you like to do when you are not working?
When I'm not working, I spend time with my family. Uh, I read books. I play tennis, and I try to just be. Sometimes I watch television, but it's important for me to exercise because that gives energy, uh, and to take care of my well-being. That's really important. And something that from the early years of as a company owner, I realized that too easily I didn't spend enough time with my friends and with the loved ones because I was so focusing on what I was doing, and that I regret a little bit. I know, not even a little bit, that I regret, because it's so important that we remember at the same time when we are working hard that to give the time to our loved ones. So that I've been also focusing on right now.
It's easy. It's very easy to forget others when you're so focused on something you love. But you say right, you need to give some time. You cannot leave yourself alone. That's a bad. Founders are alone by definition. Entrepreneurs are alone by definition for many reasons. We are not going to say a lot of them here. Many.
Mhm.
You're alone.
Yeah.
And you can even tell people that, for example, your employees, you can even show that you are weak or you are sad. It will absolutely cascade to everyone. So, but you need to have friends around you, family,
Yeah.
friend. This is the one who actually keep you going.
Oh yes. It's so important. Yeah.
You live in Finland, Helsinki. One of the biggest and most famous startup even in tech is in Helsinki slash. Do you like to go to this event? Do you like to stay in touch with the founders and so on? And what do you think about the startup community, tech community? Are we doing enough for what we claim? We want to change everything, we want to disrupt everything, we want to make the world a better place to be, or just talks?
Um, I think it's really important that we have these events. Uh, I have participated. I've been invited to give a speech and to present our work. But I need to be honest that I'm not the person that knows all the events happening. I really don't. And sometimes I get the messages, "Where are you not? Are you coming?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't never heard about this event." But I think it's really important to have them because I have met in these events amazing co-founders, company owners, and created meaningful relationships where we can learn from each other. And I have had so many good lunch meetings with colleagues, us sharing stories, and that is really extremely valuable when we can learn and share what is going on. Because what I've been noticing is that many times uh, entrepreneurs, sometimes we think that everyone else is doing so well all the time, they don't have any challenges. But when we come to the same table and we start to share, we can hear some similarities that we all have, and it's part of the journey. Everyone is sometimes struggling with selling, marketing, with the product, there are always similarities what comes to be an entrepreneur. Uh, it's been also nice to see here in Finland how we have developed a community with edtech startups in Helsinki. They have communities for health techs, companies. So we do have these spaces a lot where people can meet each other, and I think that's really really good. And about the all of us making the world better place, I want to believe so, yes, because I need to say that most of the founders that I know, they really have the bigger vision why they are doing what they are doing. And of course our action, we if we wish, nothing will happen, but when we take action we can really go forward to what we are speaking about.
Oh yeah,
So I believe that,
absolutely.
yeah.
We had to try. We had to try. We still need to change something in the venture capital ecosystem because the cheese of money or the cheesing of 20-30% return every month, return, increase of your performance in each month for the founders that really believe can become unicorns. It's a very stressing point for founders. I believe founders that are backed by VC, not angel, but by VC, where asked such a high performance is very stressful. It comes to your startup. The mental health will weak a lot because you are overwhelmed by ask all the time.
Yeah.
Understand? Investors must give the money back. Funders must return this money back themselves because they are the one who
Yeah.
they did the job. But yeah, but in terms of delivering something great for the world, tech should. Also because all the money that have been spending in technology for the last decade, we probably cross a trillion. So must go
Mhm.
somewhere. Are you concerned about climate change?
But climate change, I am. And what I'm also concerned about is that I see that young people are suffering with that because they are really concerned about that, about climate change. And that I see a lot. And I think that many young people, they would like to take action. Uh, and we would need to give them more possibilities for that. Now within 1 month I've been in so many news here in Finland how young people have created some innovative solutions for different problems that they have realized, in their own life, and then they are suddenly entrepreneurs creating a solution. And I think that that is something that we should be focusing on also.
If you had the power to change things in this world, any, what would you like to change?
I would like to see people understanding humanity in more deeper level so that they could understand what are the similarities that connects us all and what are some basic needs that are behind our actions, behind the way we speak to each other, behind the way that we behave. And when we would understand ourselves a little bit deeper, we could understand each other. And that I would like to see. And that's the reason why I think that in the school, we should teach about more about these skills, about humanity, and to understand yourself.
That's true. I mean, humanity is something we really do understand so well. I have to say, for whatever is going on around the world, I think we understood very little. But anyway, that's history and that's the reality. Do you like reading books?
I do. I do. Yes,
Do
I
you have
read a
any?
lot. Yeah, I have. Usually, when I read books, is some true stories, or then it's some, study books when I study something new. But usually, it's some true stories. I love them.
What movie?
Yes, of course. And actually, one of my favorite movie is called Freedom Writers, and it's a true story. From It tells a story of one teacher who had a really hard class with students who had some real life problems in their lives, and no one wanted to teach this class. And she started as a teacher there, and the way she teach the class changed everything. And what she did, she made uh, the stories of these students important, and she collected all the stories, and she created a classroom where the students started to share and understand that, oh, there are so many similarities that we are right now facing: racism, uh, you know problems with drugs, and beautiful things started to happen. And this class was one of the first class of students that graduated in their family because what the teacher did. So that's it can be found in Netflix. It's a really good movie.
Let's talk about lessons given by the life, right? Every day we have some lesson given. But what's your best one? What really life told you so far? That you really say, okay, that's something you really understood and something that can actually teach the others or tell to the others.
That's a hard one because I think that there are quite a many important things that I think it's important for us all to learn. But I would say that one of them is, of course, if I can mention couple, that treat others like you want to be treated. I think that's really important. But also that our life is choices. Every day, what we choose, it creates our future all the time. And it can also go with the failures that we face, the challenges. What do we choose? Do I choose to see this challenge that, hey, now I need to be creative, let's see what we can do? Or do I choose to think that, there's no way we will, find the way out from this situation? What do I choose to think, and what do I choose to take action on? So I think that's really important. Yeah,
Life is made by choices.
it is.
That's it. Very much. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes it's incredible how things can change in a fraction of a second, right? Maybe you're tired, decide to go to that bar or whatever it is, or a coffee, you meet someone, your life changed completely. Or it's unbelievable. it's very, and I know I can't say, not funny, but life is unpredictable. That's the reality. You can do whatever you want, be there
Mhm.
night and day. After something very unexpected is there and waiting for you, change dynamics completely.
Yeah, and of course, we cannot always, or we cannot choose what
Yeah.
happens to us. Of course not. But we can choose what do I do with what happened?
Yep.
And I always also talk about that from our life stories, our personal life stories, or the stories behind our entrepreneur journey. With these stories, we have so much to give to others. So, not we all have in our lives uh, the times when things are not going that well, but usually, after all,
That's
we
normal.
have learned something, and that we can teach to others also.
That's true. What's your greatest wish?
My greatest wish. Is it a peace to this world? I think that's my wish, that we could really realize what we are doing. Well, one of my wish is that we could realize the uniqueness in all of us, that we could realize how much we have, that we can give to others. And I wish that through these things, by learning these things at the school, more people could feel meaning in their life, because that's one of the foundations for mental health and well-being, that we feel that we are part of something, some community, or we are part of making this world a better place uh, by the action that we are taking. And I think that's one of my wish, because sometimes we are too living in a too individualistic world. It's always
That's
me,
true.
me, 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 my feelings, my thoughts, my life, all about me. But how about if we just a little bit change how we look at these things and start to think about, well, what I can do for others, for as I who I am today, as what I have today. I think that will change a lot.
Yeah, that's true. We are very much about us, very little
Yeah.
about others, except very, very few people. We should learn to think about others. Put ourselves sorry in their shoes and not just them in our shoes or ourselves in our shoes. Let me close with a recommendation. Anything you would like to recommend to all the founders watching this podcast? It can be.
Mhm. I would say that remember always why you started or why you want to start, because with that, you will keep going. And remember to focus, because sometimes entrepreneurs, we might think that, oh, we want to solve all the problems. No, you can't. Choose one and go with that, but focus on what you are doing and for who you are doing it. So find your why and remember that, and focus on what you are doing with that.
Ida, thank you so much for coming to Love a Founder. It's been a very great pleasure for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for you. And I really love this concept that you have. And I think it gives a lot for other people. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you.